Everyone, welcome to the When It Worked podcast. You're with your host, Julian Leahy. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Robin Camerote. Welcome to the show, Robin.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be here.
Okay, we just managed to get set up in time. Let's bring up the board. We're going to play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And the key to this, Robin, is I tell everybody that if you're not sure, you've got to use your lifelines and not blurt out the answers, otherwise you'll get yourself knocked out early on. Okay, so let's get on to the first question. Which of these classic French recipes contains nuts? Beef bourguignon, quiche Lorraine, coq au vin, I think that's how you say it, or trout amandine? Which of these French recipes contains nuts? Beef bourguignon, quiche Lorraine, coq au vin, or trout amandine? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, Julian, I'm going to go with D, trout amandine.
How do you know that?
Well, I'm familiar with all of these dishes. I'm pretty sure none have, in the traditional recipe, have nuts, but trout amandine, almonds.
Sounds a bit nutty.
Yes.
Let's take a look. That is correct. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, let's charge on to the next one. A Okay, this is hard. A filiumenist is a collector of what? Coins, stamps, matchbooks, or postcards? A filiumenist. Now, that is not familiar to me, that term. What about you, Robin? Any idea?
No, I have no idea at all.
Okay, so as far as lifelines, you can poll the audience, do a 50-50 split, or you can have 30 seconds to Google it.
Can I poll the audience? Does anybody out there know this?
Yeah, the audience will Google it and they'll cheat. They're always a good indicator. So we're going to poll the audience. We're doing that now. Put your votes in. And if anybody knows, and I know people are Googling. All right, the votes are coming in. Oh, just getting the last couple. Okay, the cheaters. C, 83%. According to the audience, is matchbooks is a filiumenist. Would you say we should lock that one in, Robin?
We gotta go with the audience. Let's lock it in.
Yes. Maybe they all happen to know about matchbooks, but I don't think so. Well, that's correct. You've used one lifeline, but you're still alive. That's the most important thing, and you always get a few rough ones in the beginning. Let's continue on. A popular Chinese proverb says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with what? A single step, a giant leap, a jump to the left, or a bold stride?
I'm going to go with A, a single step.
No lifelines needed.
No.
Let's have a look. That's correct. Well done, Robin. Okay, back on track. Let's continue on. A popular ingredient in cookies, hazelnuts are also known as what? Hickory nuts, buckeyes, acorns, or filberts? Do you have any idea about this? This might be a regional thing, I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is, I'm going to have to guess.
Whoa, that's dangerous.
Okay, wait, so we could do let's do the 50-50 actually.
I tell you what, Robin.
Yeah.
If you were to guess, which one would you be leaning towards?
I'd be leaning towards filberts.
Then I would say to you, use your lifeline. I always give people help on one question.
Okay.
All right, so we can do a 50-50 split, or you can have 30 seconds to Google it.
All right. Well, now I'm getting nervous. I think I should have 30 seconds to Google it.
All right, we're going to put the timer on.
Okay.
Get your phone out. 30 seconds from now.
Okay. Oh, it is filberts.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going with Filberts.
Okay, I'm going to lock it in
Okay.
because I thought it was Buckeyes.
Now that might be a regional thing. Buckeyes here in the States are something else.
Well, you know what it could be? It could be
What's
that I made a mistake on the questions, which I've done before. Let's have a look. You're correct. All right, you're still alive. God, there's a little bit too much of the host error. All right, I'm gonna lock in the correct one and continuing on. A popular 4-digit passcode on the iPhone is 5683, which turns out to be the keyboard representation of what word? Anger, hate, peace, or love? 5683 is a popular passcode on the iPhone.
Aww. Well, so I didn't know this.
No.
But it's so sweet. I'm gonna go with D, for love.
Let's go with love. No lifelines.
No lifeline.
Well done. You're in the $1,000 safety line.
Woo!
You've got one lifeline left, but you're still alive. A psychiatric disorder in which a person falsely believes their spouse to be unfaithful goes by what apt name? Romeo disorder, Juliet syndrome, Othello syndrome, or Macbeth complex. Now there's two, they're all Shakespeare. Have you seen any of those? I haven't.
I'm familiar with these. I think I'm gonna need to do a 50-50 on this one.
Oh, you've got your 50-50. Let's do that. Now, before I do that, which one are you, or two are you leaning towards?
Well, I would lean towards Romeo, even though Romeo wasn't unfaithful, but it's more of like kind of a, so it's definitely not Juliet, and I don't think it's Macbeth. So I'd be leaning towards either Romeo or Othello.
Okay, well, let's do the 50-50 split, see if it helps.
Okay,
Romeo's gone. So the ones we've got left are Othello syndrome or Juliet syndrome.
Yeah, let's go with C, Othello syndrome.
Let's lock it in. C is correct.
Whew.
Okay, now we've got no lifelines left. It's stressful.
It is very stressful.
Let's see how far Robin can survive. A popular song at sports events, the Ramones' Blitzkrieg Bop begins with what chorus? Yeah, 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 hey ho, let's go, rocket, baby, baby, baby. A popular song at sports events, the Ramones' Blitzkrieg Bop begins with what chorus? Yeah, 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 hey ho, let's go, rocket, or baby, baby, baby.
I'm sure I would know it if I heard it. I don't know, Julian. I think I'm stuck here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey ho, let's go. Rocket, baby, baby, baby.
It helps a lot if we sing it. So let's go with B. Hey ho, let's go.
Oh, did something happen when I sung it? That's
yeah.
That brought a memory out. That is correct. Oh, that was lucky. It's getting a bit hairy. A prissy blonde brat named Nellie Oleson was a memorable character on what TV show? You're probably not old enough to remember this. Little House on the Prairie, Cheers, The Waltons, or Days of Our Lives. A prissy blonde brat named Nellie Oleson. Now, I think my sister used to watch this show.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely old enough, and it's A, Little House on the Prairie.
It's A, yes, that's the one I was thinking. That is correct. I should say Let's continue on.
Okay.
Okay. A popular kind of sushi, a California roll, commonly features what kind of imitation seafood inside? A. Oyster, B. Tuna, C. Crab, or D. Salmon? California roll.
Okay, I got this one. It's sea crab. And
It's
the reason
crab.
is, yeah, because this is the perfect kind of gateway sushi roll for anybody who's like getting, just
You're a bit scared of the
starting
raw
out.
fish, get on to the
Yeah.
California
California roll. Yeah.
roll. Or the imitation crab. $16,000 mark.
Woo!
Now, this is when you start to get in towards the home stretch with no lifelines. Let's see. I think Robin can do it. A
Okay.
popular myth suggests that you'll be less tasty to mosquitoes if you take vitamin B1, which is also known as what? Niacin, riboflavin, thiamine, or ascorbic acid? Vitamin B1, niacin, riboflavin, thiamine, or ascorbic acid? Do you know your vitamins, Robin?
I'm actually out of B complex right now. I need to order that from the store.
Okay.
But but I don't know the other name for it. So I'll go with riboflavin B.
Riboflavin. It's a mouthful. And that is unfortunately incorrect. Thiamine.
Oh, that's terrible.
Never mind. You did very well.
Thank you.
All right, let's segue effortlessly into the information portion of the podcast. And Robin, you were doing management consulting and you loved it. Then what happened?
Oh my goodness. Well, so yeah, the first part of my career was all in management consulting. And I'll be honest, I didn't even know that was a job. Like when I graduated from college, I kind of thought, well, I'd take some time off. I would work a little bit and then maybe go back to graduate school. And I landed in a management consulting firm and I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. I loved working. I loved everything about it. And so, for the first, 10 or 12 years of my career, just kind of gradually, got increasing, promotions and responsibilities and bigger projects and a bigger team. And then, got to this point where our business was really growing and we won a big project. And I went from being kind of a team member with a small team to being kind of the big boss, the senior manager, virtually overnight. And I was really excited about this opportunity. It was huge, but I was not prepared. And, just really, I would kind of say under a lot of pressure, stress from our client, from my boss, feeling this need to deliver. And, over the course of a year or 18 months, the relationship I had with my team deteriorated to the point that on one day, 10 of my 20 staff people quit in concert. And it was devastating.
It was devastating because you would be thinking, am I that horrible? What have I done?
Right.
I'm responsible for this. And what were some of the takeaways that you got from this?
Well, yeah, I was crushed. And I decided in that moment when the last person walked out that if I did nothing else in my career, I was going to be a good manager. I had to figure this out. And so coming back in, I mean, it took a while. It wasn't like, came back in Monday and everything was fixed. It took a couple of months, of training and coaching and really think and reflection. But the most important thing was really starting to listen to people. I think what really caused the downhill spiral was just shutting down the conversation. I just really was not listening to people were bringing issues to me and I just didn't feel like I had time for it. I didn't really care. And to my detriment and to the project's detriment, of course, as well. So, so I think the biggest takeaway was keeping the lines of communication open, really checking where I was making assumptions and judgments about people, and you really having to be much more open-minded than I was.
Yes, it's a tough one because you're busy, and then it's good to sort of think, the people that you're working under, and this has sort of led you to sort of changing up a little bit, whereas you're looking at more of leadership being a relationship and and how to sort of operate in that new way. And did that take a long period of adjustment to change your style up?
Yeah, well, some things can happen very quickly. Like when certainly it's a wake up call when that, half your team walks out and then you need to rebuild. So there were some things that I had to fix immediately. But I would say over time, so what I needed to do was really rebuild that team. And so we did that. It took, maybe about another year just to replace the people, get everybody up to speed. And then I stayed in that role for another 4 years and really solidified that team. We kind of grew it to the time that I decided to leave. We were about 40 people. And so I really felt like, okay, I'd kind of gotten that piece figured out. And I was at that point ready to just do some other things and really share what I had learned on that journey with others. And that's when I started doing more training and coaching, the kind of work that I do now. But yeah, I mean, the kind of, I think where I've landed, just looking back on the last, 10 or 15 years that I've been kind of teaching and talking about this, is that leadership is a relationship more than it is a role. I think sometimes we get into this trap of thinking it's a list of tasks or, things that I need to do, when in fact it's my connection with each person individually as well as with the group. And so when we approach it like a relationship, one, we just treat people better, treat them like, adults, and really are open to hearing what they have to say. But it's much more fluid and it's more two-way as opposed to me kind of checking the box on, performing any particular task.
And when you are, the recipient of a manager or leader that is kind of interested in you as a person and doing a few little extra things that you're noticing that in terms of loyalty and overall culture of the team is a lot better, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, certainly that's been my experience. I would, really kind of, be interested in what you thought and just maybe ask the audience just to think about that for a moment. When you've been on the receiving end of someone demonstrating some genuine interest and care in you and trying to get to know you, what a difference that makes in terms of how much you want to work with them, how much you want to follow them as a leader. So I don't know, Julian, if you can speak to any of your personal experiences, but that's certainly been mine.
Yeah, 100%. And with your, career, you kind of went straight into a leadership role. Would that be fair to say?
Well, I would say I started more as an individual contributor, someone that was responsible for my tasks. But, if you kind of take a step back, there are some behaviors even kind of growing up or in school where I would naturally find myself in leadership roles. I kind of joke a little bit, being the oldest daughter of 4 children, I've just been bossy from the very beginning. And some of that bossiness is certainly kind of what gets me into trouble sometimes too. But,
Hey,
so
we call that assertiveness. We don't do the whole bossy women thing.
Yeah,
That,
no, I think that's fair. Yes, I'd always been, assertive and kind of clear and,
yeah.
clear about kind of my expectations. But yeah, so that started very early on. But no, I mean, in my career, I started kind of as an individual contributor. But because of the way management consulting works, you kind of, get a little project and then you kind of get a little bit more and a little bit more, and it grows from there. So yeah, leadership kind of took off pretty early.
For people that are finding themselves in leadership positions, sometimes they have this feeling of being a fraud, like imposter syndrome. Did
Yeah.
you experience anything like that? And what are some of the things you can do to overcome that?
Yeah, yeah, 1,000%. I mean, and honestly, like that really doesn't go away. I think for many of us who are tuned into our environment and really observant of what other people are doing, that imposter syndrome can either be this like constant hum that's, always there, and sometimes it just kind of blows up. So one, I think, if you're feeling some of that, you're not alone. That's incredibly common. For me, what I try to counter those thoughts with is curiosity and approaching things with some, as a beginner, with an idea that, hey, I'm here, I'm learning, and I'm open to kind of taking in all kinds of information, and just recognizing that, other people, certainly can feel the same way. I think can help kind of tamp that down. one of the things I talk to my clients about is that even when we're feeling uncertain or not as confident as we might like, maybe feeling like that imposter, kind of pushing ourselves to show up anyway. And we actually kind of build some of that confidence through doing, as opposed to trying to kind of like think ourselves into it. So really encourage people to kind of take action, take stock of what they've accomplished, and kind of build from there.
And what do you do, Robin, when you find you've got somebody in your team who is showing signs of being a leader? You talk about champions in leadership development. What do you do to sort of encourage that?
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing is a conversation, and really sitting down with somebody. It could be casually, just kind of grabbing over coffee, or in in some kind of meeting setting, but just saying, hey, I've noticed that you have demonstrated some initiative here, or you seem keen to take on more responsibility, or you have this bigger picture, whatever I'm observing. I think the first thing, it starts with a conversation, just to kind of gauge how aware someone is of their own personal interests. So one thing I think it's important is not to push people into leadership positions if that's not what they want, but it can help to call attention to somebody, say, hey, you seem to have some interest here or some natural abilities. Can I support you in that? Is that true? And can I support you? So I think first thing is a conversation, and then the second thing I think is getting into a feedback loop. So if somebody is interested in growing their leadership skills, then how can I support you? Would you be open to receiving some feedback? And and then kind of get into a more regular dialogue with them about the things you're observing, offering them some suggestions, and helping them build.
Hi, my name is Robin Camero, and I'm the developer of Leadership for All.
I don't know if you can hear that. I didn't know that was going to make a noise.
program
I've just brought up your website, so if people
that
do
is rising
want to
tide
head
lifts
over
all.
to the link, it's in the
It was
description.
designed to help
Robin
individuals
Camero
of all experiences
/
and
leadership
backgrounds
for all. What can
build
they
essential
expect?
Leadership skills, work better together, and
Yeah,
take
so
ownership of
I
their results.
offer there's a picture of me training teaching this class, but one of the things that I believe, in addition to leadership being a relationship, is that all people in our organizations benefit from kind of the basics of leadership. This belief that we all are leaders, and that's not attached to a role or title, and our organizations benefit when we treat everybody with kind of respect and encourage them to share their ideas and take ownership. So that particular course is about really getting all boats to rise. So it's leadership basic skills that are aimed at everyone in our organization. So I teach it to big groups of people, regardless of level, so we can all get our skills to go up together. And then from there, businesses can really just really start to excel and kind of achieve things beyond the scope of where they are right now.
And so how long is the course, and what is involved? Is it all video lessons, or are there live calls or anything like that as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when I do this for organizations, so I kind of do it two ways. So it's intended to be pretty light in terms of the time commitment. So we do it in 4 90-minute blocks. So organizations can distribute that over, they do one call a month. I have a group I'm running right now that they do it every 2 weeks. So they kind of space it out so that it's not this big, class on top of all of the other things that people have to do. So we kind of sprinkle it. For other organizations, especially when I travel to do it live, we'll just knock it out all in one day. So it's incredibly flexible. It's modular. It's kind of designed to kind of fit where an organization is. And the typical people that are interested in that are leaders who really believe in their teams, who want to kind of up the level of impact that every individual is having. So that's kind of the ideal buyer or client that might be interested in it, is if you just really want to up your game of your entire organization. This is the kind of material that'll help you do that.
Awesome. So if you want to check that out, I'll put the link in the description and the show notes, and you can have a chat with Robin as well about developing some of these leadership skills. Thanks for coming on the show, Robin.
I so appreciate it, Julian. This was so much fun, and I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you.
No problem. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. I'll see you very soon on another